Oh, sorry about that. I lost my audio. um, so basically, those are the questions that I have on my list, and we've been seeing the questions coming through. So kindly drop your questions. We can go through them one after the other and then treat them out. Not to waste much of our time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. Over to you, Kessinton.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think the thing that's a short time span or something.
I noticed that, so I thought it was everybody.
Yeah, organizers, we need to do better. I think next time we shouldn't use a free zone. We should use a paid zone because that would make the meeting last longer. Okay. All right, Labake, you were saying something. Let's quickly clarify. I think because it's not a free Zoom, and because it's a free Zoom, I think we have just 40 minutes per session or something. So we need to be fast before it times out again.
Okay, have gone through all the points that I have. I think we should treat the questions that people have been sending through.
Okay. Yeah, I would start answering. The thing is that when it went off, most of the questions disappeared. So if we can
I wrote some of them down.
Okay, if you can tell me the questions and I would give.
The first question was certificates of English. Is it by WAEC or somebody asked about certificates of English? So let's throw more light on that.
Oh, okay. So for certificate of English, like English proficiency, you don't need your question about to be clear. Is it that do you need English proficiency for your application? Because you do. If you are going to apply, you need your English proficiency when you're sending your documents to HCPC. But as for IELTS, you don't need that. The only time you would need like a proper English document called NARIC is when you are going to apply for your visa. When you are going to apply when you are doing your visa application, that's when you need NARIC. And I think I saw one question about, do we need transcripts or something? You would need your transcript when you're applying for NARIC, not when you are trying to get on the register. So you doing NARIC would be probably maybe when you've gotten a job, or maybe you just want to just do it, just have it before, like in hopes that you'll get a job soon. So that's the only time you need your transcript. I think I saw something about transcripts, something like that. Okay, I hope I'm able to, Mr. Oladin, I hope I'm able to answer the NARIC part. So the NARIC is just like, is what you need for your visa. That's like it's like a way of evaluating the language you're being taught in Nigeria. There's a way of evaluating it here. Yeah, all right, cheers, man. So I'll move on to the next question that says, sorry. Hello, I had an interview with Mid and South Essex on Thursday, but still didn't hear from them. How long does it take? Okay, so for feedback, the feedback is subjective, to be honest. When I did my interview, my band 5, there's sometimes that you do an interview and they would get back to you maybe in 2 weeks or in a week time. When I did my band 6 interview, I got the response the next day. So the feedback is subjective. It does not is not a fixed thing, because most times it depends on how many applicants they are going to interview. And sometimes it depends on how well you do. Because sometimes if you like really do like fantastically well in an interview, I don't see a reason why they'll take time before they get back to you. So, but like I said, it's subjective. It's not like there's no time frame to it. They can get back to you the next day. They can even get back to you before that day runs out. They can get back to you in a week, in 2 weeks' time. It's not, there's
Yeah, it
no,
depends on trust.
yeah, it's a subjective thing. What other question again do I have here? Labake, do you have any other question you wrote down
Yeah,
before?
someone asked that does it include NYC, the number of years of experience that you'll need before you can apply?
Yes, it does. Because I would say, like, I always advise, um, young radiographers, I always advise them. I'll tell them that if you're going to like do HCP, so you're going to try to look for a job, I suggest that you finish internship first, because your internship serves as 1 year of work experience. So you can then now start your application during your NYC.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough and you get a job before NYC finishes, man, pack your bag and you get on a plane and you move out. So that is it. So, but you need to get a job, because part of the checks on getting on the register will require them like sending documents to your workplace to see that, okay, this person has been practicing. Do you understand me? So I always just advise people, when you are done with school and you are in your internship placement, make sure that your internship, you don't play with it. Your internship is a place that can make or break you. You can learn very well in your internship that will shape out how you become as a radiographer. But if you play with your internship, maybe you run away from postings, you don't come to work and all that stuff. In the long run, you will see the outcome of it. So I always advise people during internship, please focus. Like I'm sure some people here have like met me before, like maybe you have passed your internship. Please focus, know what you're doing, because that point of your life is what you're going to use to build your career on. So that's that. Let's see if we have other questions here.
And someone mentioned something about class.
Oh yeah.
When you were talking about the protocols that are different here and there.
Yes. So yeah, clerks. If you read through clerks well, like you digest it well, you see that there are some salient points in clerks, like the key points, the keynotes there. Especially if you go through patient preparation, go through like the first pages of clerks, there are some things that are written there that most times you just skip, because when you want to prepare for an in-course, you just rally, you read all the position for rally, you forget about it. If you read about adaptive techniques in clerks, read about patient preparation in clerks, there are some points that are written there. If you go to your class now, for example, there was a time I was preparing somebody for an interview for a trust, and we're talking about cervical x-rays. I asked him to go to class and read about the steps, like you doing your AP lateral, then you doing your swimmers, knowing the steps on and knowing how to go about them before doing, and knowing what to do and what not to do. Everything there is written in class. If you have an interview and because class is what you actually use in the UK. So exactly, Mr. Malani, you are doing well. So that's the textbook. That textbook is life, to be honest. That's what you need. That textbook is life. So if you go and you read that book, like don't read it to cram. Like read it to know what it is. There's one time, I remember one time when I was working in BT, one of my senior colleagues, and I didn't know the answer. And he told me, can you mute my mic? He told me that I can't check clerks. And I went on and I checked clerks, and I saw that the answer was there. I was surprised. So please, clerks is a very, very like fantastic book, and we don't just read it to just cram. We need to understand. It will really help you to go along when helping when preparing for an interview. So I saw one here, what are the tips to succeed for interview? I said that earlier on, like I talked about first things first, you need to first format your brain. Like, this is not Nigeria. There's some things that we do in Nigeria that in general, like, are not acceptable, but we just do it because it's what it is. Yeah, I always tell people, see, is class standard or nothing. There are protocols here that you need to understand the protocols, you understand the way of life here, and you are able to, because there are different, like, for example, code of conduct, confidentiality, infection control, COSH, all those things. If you read all those things and you understand it, you can then mix your ideas together and come up with a very suitable answer for whatever question that is going to be thrown at you. So those are just like tiny tips for an interview. And one thing again is actually going to find out about the trust. You need to know about where you are going to. Not only knowing about the trust, knowing about the environment where you are going to. You need to have a background understanding of wherever you are going to go to, wherever you are going to apply for the job. Somebody asked a question of so even someone going for CT or sonography work needs to read clerk. Let's be realistic here. In clerks, there is no sonography in clerks. We all know. Red clerks, you know there is no sonography. There's a bit of CT in clerks, but it's like referral, like what you do if you cannot do X-ray, then you refer it to CT. So it's not like there is sonography in clerks. I think there are textbooks for sonography. I'm not a sonographer. I don't do sonography, so I don't really know much about sonography. I only do CT and X-rays. So I'm sure there's a textbook for sonography. And if there are sonographers, if there are sonographers in the house, we can please help our brother and just like writing a textbook for sonography to help him, please. Somebody said as a fresh. Oh, somebody said Sanders textbook for sonography. So Austin Sniper, I think you found the textbook here. It says Sanders textbook. Oh yeah. So, yeah. So for a textbook for sonography and for CT, just give me 1 minute. Okay. There is a textbook I read, I bought. So I'll just get the name now. Sorry, I've forgotten the name.
Wow. Kensington is that it. Someone asked, if someone's application is rejected, are they going to refund the person's scrutiny fee? I have not heard of anybody's application that's been rejected. It could just be on the basis that maybe a document is missing or is not correct. They will tell you to send the correct thing or send another one. They hardly reject applications. So that's that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Labake. So for the CT book, I just sent a text in the chat now. For the person asking for the CT textbook, I also sent the text in the chat now. So it's CT tomography, computer tomography for technologies by E. Romans. The book is actually very comprehensive. It's a very good read. It's a very good read. Sorry, can you mute our mic, please? Okay, so yeah, somebody else has given another textbook for ultrasound, Donald textbook. So somebody said, must we be registered in our home country before applying? I strongly advise you register before applying, because there's some trust will ask you, like during your interview, ask you, are you HCPC registered? If you tell them no, I don't know about the chances of them employing you, because I just feel like you need to just get registered. Like you need to get on the register before applying for the job. So I think I've answered Dr.
No, I think that person wants to know in his home country.
Oh, in your home country. I'm guessing this person is not from Nigeria. Well, regardless of the country you are from, you need to be registered. You need to be HCPC registered. Because I'm sure during your in your application, you would need to put your ACPC number in your application when you want to submit your application for the job. So you need to be ACPC registered in your country. Um, oh, okay. Oh, you're asking regulatory body because letter to a letter will have to be sent to HCPC from your body to show that you're of good character, you're of good standing. They call it letter of good standing. You have to send it from your home association to the HCPC body. So I hope I'm able to answer Dr. Mohammedu. Yeah. So is there by chance if you don't get an offer from a particular NHS and reapply and get another chance for interview again? Yes. If you get rejected from a trust, like and you apply again, there are chances that you can get accepted. It's not that's a no-brainer. You send an application, you don't get it the first time, you apply again, you might get it the second time. So there's no limit to how you can apply or not apply. Let's see. Amaka, have you got any other question that you want to answer on your part?
I'm trying to read through. For me, has a refreshed student of radiography, like getting scholarship. What kind of scholarship are you talking about? If you're a radiographer already, I don't think there's any scholarship out there for a radiographer that wants to work in the UK. I don't know if I'm getting that your question correctly.
I think the question is
there is no scholarship.
I think the question is not in line with what we are talking about here.
Yeah. And because this session is very short, if there are further clarifications you need, just reach out to YRN or their email. They would probably think of another session some other time. We cannot answer heavy questions here.
Okay, somebody asked the question, said, my question about MRI without job experience. Well, as regards that, well, with what I've seen and heard, MRI jobs here, I think for you to get an MRI job, I think you need to anyhow post their high-end post. So you need to actually have a job experience. Or if you have a job experience, you can do a PG. I think the board, RBN, offers a PGD course in MRI. If you add that to your application, it gives you an upper hand. Having a postgraduate in MRI, it gives an upper hand. So what I would advise Mr. Igo Hemodin, what I would advise you is that if you're a fresh graduate and you don't have any experience in MRI, what I would suggest is that you can either look for a job where they do MRI and work there, get your MRI experience, or two, you can do a PGD course with the board. I think there is like 3 modules or so. You can do that, then start applying. But the thing is that you need to have like work experience. So I hope I'm able to answer that. Somebody asked, what was the major difficulty you encountered when you started practicing in the UK? Well, major difficulty, well, like I said, it's subjective. It's really subjective. Differs from trust to trust, differs from person to person. When I came into the UK for the first time, the only difficulty I encountered was just was aside code was like, well, the communication bits, because there are some terms they use here, like to address their patients, like in terms of like talking to the patient. There are some terms that they understand. There's some things that you would say that they might not really understand until you say it in their own like kind of way, then you understand. So like I said, communication is very, very key. So, and again, adaptation, you need to be able to adapt to your environment. You need to be open-minded because yes, you are going to be within different people. So you need to be able to adapt, and you need to be like open-minded. So the challenges I just faced was just, aside code, was just the communication bit, like not communication per se, but learning to say things in the way that they will understand. Like things like, you don't, like now, for example, don't tell a patient to move. You don't say, please move. You can say, shuffle here. If you tell them, please move, they might not really understand what you're saying. But if you say, kindly shuffle here, please, they know that, oh, you mean I should adjust. So like things like that were things that you have to like try to catch up on. So if you ask another person this question, they might tell you, or maybe things that were happening in their own trust, or things that gave them problem. But for me personally, I didn't really like have any issue. It was just learning to talk in their own language. That was just
Thanks.
in their own terms. That was just my own issue. Um, Somebody talked about what does trust mean. Well, if I want to explain this in layman's terms, so a trust is like the hospital where you're going to be working. Like the way we have general hospitals, where we have federal hospitals, like we call them teaching hospitals,
We call them hospitals.
yes, we
Hospitals.
call them trusts here. So this trust in this place, this trust, that trust is just hospital, to be in layman's term. It's just hospital. It's not anything big. It's just hospital. So what else again do we have here?
Someone said, does the visa allow me to work and study at the same time? I think it does.
Yeah, it
It
does.
allows you to, of course, you're getting a work permit. Your visa is a work permit. So it's going to allow you to work primarily, and then study will be on the terms of you and your line manager.
So sorry, permit me to shed more light on that. So in the UK here, like one of the advantages is that you have an opportunity to actually further your studies here. Your trust can actually sponsor you to like do more courses. For example, I have a colleague of mine here, like on a reporting course sponsored by the trust. He came in on a tier 2 visa. Do you understand? So the visa also allows you study and also allows you work. So it's not um somebody said, does MSc and PhD maximizes our chances of getting a job? Sure, it does. It does actually. It does. That no knowledge is lost. So it does. It maximizes your chance. If you have a PhD, I mean, if you have a PhD, I feel you can even do more than even applying for a job. If you're lucky enough, you might get maybe a teaching post if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does actually. It does. Um,
And yes, band 5 job is £24,900 per annum,
so
inclusive of your tax and your NI deductions. That's what you get per annum, okay?
so
Very good pay.
to be specific, it's 24,904 thousand pounds per annum, excluding your tax. So when your tax comes in, it falls to about 18,000 per year. So that's that. Someone said, if I get a job on band 5, how long does it take for me to go into band 6, or from band 6 to band 7? Okay, so if you come in on a band 5, how long it takes you depends on you, depends on the opportunity presented in your trust. It is subjective. I came in on a band 5, and now it didn't take me up to a few months. I got into a band 6. So it's different from trust to trust. It depends on how well you position yourself and how well opportunities like open in your trust. Do you understand me? So it's not like a time frame thingy.
And if you yourself are ready for the next
Exactly,
level.
if you're ready for the next level, yeah. Because band 6 is like a more responsibility level. So they would look at, oh, okay, is this person ready? Because you can't just say, because for you to get to a band 6 here, you need to do an interview. So they will assess you again to see that, okay, yeah, this person is eligible to get to a band 6. So there's no time frame to it. Can be less than 6, can be 6 months, can be less. Answer a question as well as 8:30. So Can we use certificates obtained from the course we do during internship, PGC? Well, I'm not really sure on that. I know of a PGD, a postgraduate diploma. I don't know about a certificate, but I know of diploma. I know diplomas are well accepted here. But I don't really know about PGCs. I'm not sure on that, but I know of PGD. So somebody said, what do you need to apply for city jobs? You just need your city experience and you need to know your onions. That's all. Like, need to know how to go about things. That's just it. And you need to send in your application. So that's just what you need. So it's not really anything major. Okay, so some Mr. Igo already said he has the MRI PGD certificate already, but he doesn't have an MRI suit. I think I'm just going to say you should actually look for like where to practice, because like they say, practice makes perfect. There's some things that when you get to an interview point and they ask you questions, well, because you've been practicing, you know what to say, but because you are used to these protocols, like you keep, because theory is way clear from practical. Theory, everybody knows theory, you can say this, say that, but the practical part is what they, because during interviews, scenarios questions come up a lot. So if you are practicing, you'll be able to like relate. So I'll just advise that maybe get somewhere that has an MRI suit, and maybe you can just be going there as maybe to shadow or to do a bit of just, oh, can I just come and just look at what you guys are doing like on your spare time, or try to look for a job that has MRI that you can work depending on where you are. Sorry, I'm just trying to reach
So
this.
can I answer this question, please?
Okay.
Someone asked, how does getting a job affect getting a permanent residence? Getting a job is the first step, actually, and then staying in employment with the NHS would guarantee you getting your permanent residence. Usually, after 5 years of staying in the UK and obviously working, paying your taxes, being a good citizen, after 5 years, you're going to get what's it called? Leave to remain in the UK. After you get that, you can as well apply for your British passports. That's after at least 5 years. So getting a job is paramount to you getting your permanent residence and staying in employment. I hope I've answered that question for you. Someone said, please, do you know of any postgraduate scholarships in the UK? Like my colleague Kensington has said, postgraduate scholarships, it depends on your trust. If there is any positions available, probably a reporting position, and they feel you're the best candidate for it, your trust can send you to school and pay for it, for you to go get knowledge and come back to work in that field. And your trust pays the tuition and everything concerned with that. We would not be able to take much more questions. In about 5 minutes, we'll be rounding up. UK is a place whereby time is time, 5 is 5. So, I mean, why Aaron could take on another session for us some other time. Kensington, over to you for round up, please.
Before we round up, I'll just quickly just take like a few more questions because our time is actually fast spent here. Like, I'm just going to go back to the PGC stuff here. Somebody has actually confirmed that, like I said earlier, I'm not sure of PGC. I know of PGD because PGDs are actually accepted. I don't know about PGCs. I think you can just put your PGC. I don't think it might really count, but PGDs are actually like really accepted. Then somebody asked about I heard when preparing for your CV, it has to be in the UK format. Sorry, I don't really understand the question. Preparing your CV because you use SI here. So your SI, you have to write some things that are acceptable, like the terms used there. not CV necessarily, because it's SI you use, right? Because you have to like really sell yourself with the SI. So that is what we use here to apply for jobs, not CV. If my colleague would permit me, can we just do this till the time elapses, so we can just like close it on the time remaining for the meeting? I think we have less than 9 minutes to go. If that is acceptable by, if that is fine by Labake.
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead.
Okay, because we have some questions. There are more questions here that are coming in.
We obviously will not be able to take it all.
Yes, we won't be able to take it all, to be honest. But like my colleague said, you can always reach out to the platform. I think the young radiographers, you can always reach out to them and they would shed more light on any questions you have. Okay, so okay, I think my colleague already answered the question on how does getting the job affect getting the permanent residence. I think my colleague already answered that. So okay, somebody said drop your contact, please. So yeah, I'm just going to drop my email address there so we can reach out there. Okay. So, like I said, getting a job, coming to the UK, knowing when to come and everything is subjective. It differs from people to people. It really differs. So you need to know in your mind that, oh yeah, I'm ready to come. Then when you get here, you figure out yourself. Okay, somebody said, please, in respect to in respect to um in respect to salary, the ones that we see every day on NHS is hazard or shift allowance inclusive, just like in Nigeria, where basically it's only amount affected. Okay, so the amount you see on the website, track job, whatever, are not inclusive of the hazard, the night shift, no, that is just your basic pay. So you can get extra pay when you do your night shifts, when you do your
Bank jobs.
bank jobs and all that. That's when you get your, there's nothing like hazard allowance. Everything is already included in your, in Nigeria where you get hazard allowance of how much? I think like 5K or so. Not like hazard allowance. So you get your regular pay, then you get your extra pay that will affect your salary when you do like your overtime, your second on call, your bank jobs, your night shifts, and all that. So let's see what we have here. Um, can I give some insight, please? Of course, Mr. Austin Obi, you can give some insights. You are free. Yes, you are free to give some insights. I think we have less than 5 more minutes to go. So,
someone said that, can one freely check other job opportunities that are not within your trust? Of course you can. While you have your main job, you can probably apply to agencies so that they can get you other jobs in your spare time, depending on how much free time you have. Not forgetting your basic job is 37.5 hours per week, which can be 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, or 3 long days or 4 long days, whatever your rota is. So depending on how much time you have left, you can get another job outside of your trust or within your trust, and it's called
so so for the specialties, there are what I also know is that there are like different radiographers for different purposes. There are reporting radiographers, there are cath lab radiographers. There's CT radiographer, MRI radiographer, ultrasound. I don't know if ultrasound, I don't know if they have like subspecialties there. I'm not really sure. So I don't really know about that. Mr. Austin, can we have you please?
Hi, everyone. I want to thank the conveners of this meeting. It's a very brilliant idea. I've been going through some of this. Anyway, my name is Austin. Some of you may know me, some may not know me. I'm a radiographer, but I practice ultrasound in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to, state it very clearly that because I'm speaking from experience, I've had a lot of people who copy CVs and paste and all that, and at the end of the day, they come in here, they get into trouble. So it's best for you to kind of what yours is what should reflect on your CV. Sometimes maybe 50% competent in an area. Try to put it as if you're not, competent, so that when you come in, they can give you the opportunity to train. And that way you can sit down shooting yourself, on the field, when you cannot meet up. And then again, for ultrasound, the minimum standard to practice here is PGD. They prefer like at least 1 year postgraduate diploma with experience of about 1 year clinicals. For some, someone asked about ultrasound specialty. Yeah, there are different areas here. You can do abdominal, you can do obstetrics, you can do whatever. They are not going to force you to do what you're not happy to do, but whatever you decide on doing, then you have to be very good at that in that area. So they don't force you to do anything there. And some people ask about academics. On tier 2, you've got limited, extra hours or extra time to do any other thing, which is 20 hours a week. So for academics, you can only probably act on the basis of being a voluntary, maybe lecturer or something, just to help out. But they are not going to employ you as a part-time lecturer or something until when you've gotten your stay, because you are on tier 2 until when you're done with your 5 years and then you get your stay. You can decide to leave, the clinical role and go into academics if that's what you want. But it's difficult for you to combine both of them when you're in tier 2. Tier 2 is like a limited sort of visa where you can't have opportunity to do other things as at that time. And those are just few things I just needed to clarify. But I want to say big shout out to those who have convened this program. It's very, very wonderful. At least people, are educated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. So
thank you, Mr. Austin.
So for those asking about ultrasound, I think he has given you the perfect answer for ultrasound. So yeah, and we have our time is almost spent here. So I think for the person asking about the interview, your interview, they can get back to you via mail, via call, whatever, because you would have discussed with you at the end of your interview. So that question has been answered. So I just want to give a shout out to you. Thanks for it's wonderful. And thank you for thanks to young radiographers for actually inviting me on this. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody for the turnout. If you have any more questions, you can just like reach out to the organizers. Or I think I dropped my email there, so I can get. Sorry, they already answered about the postgraduate studies and scholarship. It's dependent on your trust. So it's not like Mr. Austin said that there's a time frame for everything. So I think you'll find the answers in the chat or something. Yeah, and if Mr. Austin don't mind, if you can drop his email for the sonographers in the house to reach out to him, we would appreciate that. All right. Thanks, guys.
Then thank you so much, Mobi. This is